we're here trying to find what's the most interesting for everyone. So we're actually going to be starting with a little segment I like to call What's That TV Show? And what I'm basically going to be talking about is there's a lot of South Asian TV shows that I think have really gone under the radar, or you might have heard about them, you may not have heard about them. And I think there's a lot of quality that's coming out. There's so many topics that they're covering, from, divorces to, adultery to happy things like, finding that you're in a bad relationship and being able to get out and make a name for yourself. There's also places where it really covers into gay marriage, or it covers into, what used to be illegal in India, really getting into some of those deeper things. And I think there's a lot of quality to these TV shows. It also talks about what it is to live actual life, talking about being a secret agent, but the fact that it's not so glamorous and you're not all James Bond or Ethan Hunt running around like Mission Impossible. I think there's a lot of value in these different shows, and that's why I think this new series of What's That Show is going to be the most powerful. And we're actually going to get started with a few shows, and I'm just going to explain them real quick in this intro video. So what we're going to be starting off with is Made in Heaven. It's a show by the wonderful Zoya Akhtar. I'll put a picture of Zoya if you guys are wondering why does that name sound familiar. She's the sister of Farhan Akhtar, and everyone knows them from, that family, the Akhtar family, from obviously Zindagi Na Milega Dobara. And I know I butchered that, but if everyone knows that song, Senorita, not the Shawn Mendes, Camila Cabello one, but the da na 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 na. I think I actually have that as one of my intros somewhere, but it is a, great movie. Maybe we'll cover that someday. But the show goes actually after, or is shot with these two wedding planners. One, it comes from, a little bit of an interesting background, and now she's been able to work her way up and marry a really successful guy. The other, Karan, we find out a lot about him, but Tara, the first character, and Karan are wedding planners, and they are wedding planners for the affluent. So you end up seeing a lot of what is, kind of hidden stories, or, if you really think about it, where Zoya is coming from being in that Bollywood sphere for so long, right? Some of these hidden stories and deep stories that, she's seen and writes beautifully into the show. A lot of things about what it's like to, be in the service industry in India as well. So I think it's going to be an amazing journey, and really looking forward to kind of diving into that. And with these, we're going to have individual episodes for each of the episodes, so you can kind of get an understanding. We can talk about it, we can chat about it. And another show that we're going to cover down the line, I'll put it somewhere here, is actually a few shows, starting off with the producers Raj and DK. They've made some amazing shows, and we're going to start off first with Family Man, which was actually one of the biggest shows that they released. It really covers some interesting stuff. The first season really talks about just kind of that Cold War that Pakistan and India are fighting. I know it's an interesting time, so actually I might even just cut this out. But if I don't, this is just going to be covering what's going on, and maybe give a little bit of insight to people that actually maybe not know what's going on, or give a little bit of context to where this kind of stuff comes from, and, a little bit of these things that you may have not seen in previous media. And then there's actually 2 seasons of it. There's a second season where it actually talks a little bit about for people who don't know, in South India, it's very close to Sri Lanka, so there's a little bit of conflict on that side. So the show gets into some, actually very big topical topics, and really, has a lot of politics to it as well. But what makes it really interesting is the show focuses around the secret agent, that's doing and is involved in a lot of these political things. But it's not a glamorous life, right? He's just a government employee, in the sense that he doesn't really have power. He doesn't have the ability to really say, oh, cool, he's like getting all these secret gadgets and this and that. But, he has a responsibility to serve his country. And in that, what ends up happening is there's always going to be places where you have to balance serving your country, serving his family. And it's just amazing to see Manoj Bagpai, the main actor, kind of navigate through that. So those are the 2 shows we're going to start off with. If you come across this video and you're really passionate about another show or something else, please feel free to drop it down in the comments below. But looking forward to starting What's That Show? So thanks everyone, and this is Enrice signing off.